races, finds herself on grid 6. Grid 7 for the number 4, William Exton. Grid 8 for the Hawke's Bay driver, Zach Stidsbury. Well, this will be a big race. With these bigger fields, it's vital that you finish up in the first half a dozen here to have any chance, really, of a final victory later on. 18 laps the pre-final, brought to you by Benish Consultants, Junior 125cc Rotax Max. We saw 2NZ Callum Hedge do an impressive-looking speedway slide then. Well, you saw the sand, the dust cloud off that sand when the drivers were on their warm-up lap going down into Macaulay Ford. I think you'll find that drivers will be a little tentative down there on this opening lap. Not 100% sure what that grip level will be like. So there is a clear line from halfway out down to the inside, but it's going to make that first turn into Macaulay Ford really tight. Probably don't want to be on the outside because there's sand running from the middle of the track and then it spikes off and goes right across the outside. You can see the drivers there now as that cloud comes up. So that's going to be an interesting corner. Certainly need to get that on the live stream as the drivers fire down in there. You're going to want to try and have a clear run and use the inside line without putting a wheel up on there. Here we go. Formation looks good as they come off the turn to face the start. Pre-final. Junior 125cc, lights out. Great start for Hedge. Woody's going to make a good start as well. Well, there's someone up there on the ripple strips. Was that Ransley? Ransley's gone back to about 8th place. We've got someone else on the grass. That's the 4, William Exton, running up on the grass. Crombie through for 2nd place. Grant's there in 3rd. Well, look at that. They made fools of me. I said they'd all swing down the inside. And they have gone right to the outside, and there's no grip issue. Brave young drivers. Woody out of the draft, makes a move down the inside, can't get it done. Grunt hangs on for 3rd. Well, it's Callum Hedge in front. Ryan Crombie, 3rd in yesterday's championship. Back up there at the sharp end of the field. He's having a great nationals. 3rd place, Grant. 4th is Wood. 5th is O'Meara Hunt. 6th is Stidsbury from Hawke's Bay. A little bit of contact further back. 67's pushing hard. 16 to go for Callum Hedge. Stidsbury up on the ripple strip, looks back. Here comes O'Meara Hunt, racing Rihanna. Starting to move forward. We haven't seen this all day long from this fast young lady. The South Australian state champion from a few weeks ago made karting history in Australia alongside Maddie Stewart. One and 2, gapping back to 3rd place. Crombie's fast. 16 to go. Ransley's back in 6th place. He's got to recover. Had a shocking start there on turn 1. Got bumped back through the field. In fact, he's as far down as 7th and behind the other Tony Cart, the 72 of Stidsbury. Stidsbury having a better start. This is where I think his weakness is. He's got to push hard. He's got to learn to push hard on cold tyres. 14 to go. In behind Bethune, the 98 of Jack Cayford. And at the rear of the field, the 21 of Max Milne holding out the 29. Young Corey Smith. Well, Racing Rihanna is trying to close up on Grant. Ryan Wood just caught a whole lot of ripple strip. Stidsbury still in the top 6. 13 to go. Ransley starting to try and mount an attack on Stitsbury back there. We thought Ransley might have come through a little bit quicker. He's still buried down in 7th. It's a little bit single file here. All these juniors running a strong pace. Keep an eye on Woody. Woody's using all the racetrack. A little bit of adjusting on the radiator shroud there as they go down into turn 1. Well, Callum Hedge, national champion yesterday in the Yamaha, would dearly love to do the double. Hasn't been beaten so far. But Crombie's keeping him honest. He's only 3 kart lengths back. Ashton Grant's looking very strong in 3rd. Still O'Meara Hunt 4th. Woody's 5th. Stitsbury, Ransley, Parkinson. Remember, Parkinson had work to do after that issue in the 2nd heat race. Surely we're going to see some duck and diving soon. Still a freight train from 3rd back to 8th. 10 laps to go next time by for Callum Hedge. So strong out in front, the Tony Kart driver. Recovering from a poor start, the 4 of William Exton. Best of the rest, no doubt, is 19, Jade Smith from Southland, the Ultimate Spreading Solutions. Waipunamu contracting driver. Well, we're not seeing a lot of passing in this heat race at the moment. Half race distance. There's a move finally down the inside. Parkinson makes a pass on the final turn over Jaden Ransley. Ryan Wood battling it out. He's going to throw it up the inside on O'Meara Hunt. Racing Rihanna, we know she can go deep under brakes. Holds out the 40 of Woody. Ryan was lucky that Stitsbury wasn't there. He could have taken that position away. That's what the beauty of that infield section is. You think you've made a pass. If it doesn't work out, the guy behind you takes it. 8 to go. Bethune in front of the number 6 of Josh Richmond. Richmond pulls out of the draft on Bethune and makes a pass at the end of the main straight. Well, Hedge slowly but surely is inching away now. Crombie can't match the pace. There's still a little bit of sand dust flying down into Macaulay Ford. 7 to go. Woody's made the pass on Racing Rihanna for 4th. There's a move further back as that Stitsbury and the Tony Kart goes up the inside. No, it was Ransley, I think. Ransley is it into the top 7. 8th place now, Stitsbury. 9th is the 16 of Jacob Mitchell. 10th place for the number 4 of William Exton. 6 to go. Black and whites for the 85. The 89 kart there, that's young James Watson in front of the 87 of Dominique Robertson. Then you go to the 21, young Max Milne from Southland. Well, it's another dominating drive here for Callum Hedge. Ryan Wood, I think, is starting to reel in the 27 of Ashton Grant. And the 85 of Josh Parkinson's going to go to work on the back of Racing Rihanna. Parkinson to the inside, makes a move. Brilliant drive there for Parkinson up the inside at MKS. Oh, we've got one off. That's the 3rd place man, Ashton Grant. Did he go to sleep? Well, that's so easily to happen. He was out there on his own in 3rd. He makes one tiny mistake and is going to be punished brutally for it. Drops him right back through into about 9th position. Is it still Callum Hedge, Crombie? Now Ryan Wood occupies P3. And there will be only 3 laps to go this time. Passing further back, up to 5th place now. Stitchbury. It's a battle of the 3 Tony karts. Here comes Ransley back. Racing Rihanna's going to hook on his bumper and go through. Stitchbury's going to drop 2 places in 1 corner. Finally, we're getting some passing in this pre-final. Just 2 to go. Callum Hedge kicking on for home for a 3rd race win in a row. Crombie 2nd, Ryan Wood, Parkinson, Ransley, O'Meara, Hunt, Stitchbury. Then it's Mitchell. Bethune holding out the 98 of Jack Cayford. Well, Stitchbury's all over the back of the 3NZ. Last lap board, 1 to go, Callum Hedge. Well, they're certainly well spread out. Callum Hedge has just been too dominant. Wore down the opposition and stretched away. And with just 1 corner to go, is odds on for a 3rd race win. But more importantly, the pre-final victory for Callum Hedge. Crombie 2nd, Ryan Wood 3rd. He had to work for that. So too did Parkinson 4th. Ransley 5th. Right on the line, Racing Rihanna will take the top 6 from Stitchbury. Yep.
So, Mike, it looks like Callum Hedge has the measure of everyone at the moment. Crombie keeping him honest, but the battle is really for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, look, Hedge has the edge, doesn't he?
Certainly, at this stage, he's really showing his form, and no doubt a boost of confidence after yesterday's national title win.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And it's just the consistency of Callum. You know, lap after lap, he bangs out those fast times, wears down his opponents. They think, oh, I can stay with him. No, they can't, because he just slowly inches away, and he never makes a mistake. He's got that familiar head tilt. You know his style, no matter where he is on the racetrack. You know, quite often I can pick a driver out because of a helmet, but I just look at Callum and the way he's sitting in the cart, and I know it's him straight away.
Yeah, and it's a really positive driving style that he has in the seating position as well. Becoming part of the DCR, Dan Connell Racing team, and Dan has spent a lot of time working with Callum, so it's evident in the way that he drives that kart.
Now, because we're behind schedule, Open Class has gone out, so we're not going to get to do that pre-final interview with Callum Hedge. Now we look at the Open Class, though, Richard, brought to you by Alem Lube, and look who's out there, kart number 9.
Yeah, exactly. Just looking onto the screens here, we can see a nice sight of lots of open karts driving around. So this is great to see. There's a few karts there that, particularly with Hamilton, haven't done any of the heats or haven't finished a few of the heats. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, and I'm sure he will be up the front very quickly with that fruit salad twin of his.
Yeah, I love that phrase, the fruit salad. I just did a setup change myself, put new batteries in the mic.
All charged up, ready to go.
Charged up. Can't wait for that Cadet Rock. That pre-final coming up next after this one. So here we go, the Alem Lube Open Class pre-final, including the number 9 of Matt Hamilton. The man that put it on pole faster than anyone else by 8/10. They're all on the grid. The 94 of Elders back there, so too's the 31 of Cranston. But it's Cox that will be on pole position from the 90 of James Blair. Lights out. Cox was a surprise winner of Heat 2, but he said, I'll take it, and why wouldn't you? Elder now in second place. We'll have to see how his setup now is with that spare engine on there. If the other engine he had was an eBay special, what's this one? The Thursday Trader. Third place is the 10 of Ma, then Blair, then Bouchard, then Matt Hamilton. Here we go, the 11 Lube Open Class Pre-Final, including the number 9 of Matt Hamilton. The man that put it on pole faster than anyone else by 8/10. They're all on the grid. The 94 of Elder's back there, so too's the 31 of Cranston. But it's Cox that will be on pole position from the 90 of James Blair. Lights out. Cox was a surprise winner of Heat 2, but he said, I'll take it, and why wouldn't you? Elder now in second place. We'll have to see how his setup now is with that spare engine on there. If the other engine he had was an eBay special, what's this one? The Thursday Trader. Third place is the 10 of Ma, then Blair, then Bouchard, then Matt Hamilton. Hamilton already up into the top 6. This will really make it exciting now in this open class, because some of the big guns further back after their issues in the heat races. Good job out front though for Chris Cox. Still leading Mark Elder after 2 laps here of this pre-final. Look at the pace of Matt Hamilton, how fast that kart is down into turn 1. He's a little bit tentative at the moment. Matt knows he's got plenty of time. He's just going to try and pick them off one at a time. No point doing any rash moves here in this pre-final for the number 9. Mark Elder, though, straight through to the race lead now over Chris Cox. Elder, Heat 1 winner early this morning, DNF in Heat 2. Here comes Hamilton, down through the gears, through that final turn in front of commentary. The fruit salad, up into the top 4. Elder will try and run away out in front. Whatever he's done to that kart to get back on the racetrack, it's proving to be the right setup at the moment. He's very fast. Coxie in second, Ma third, Matt Hamilton fourth. Still a little bit of sand on the racetrack, but there is a clear line on that outside. Here comes Hamilton again down through the gears. Issue there for the 43 of Chris Foster from Westland. Not up to race pace. Not sure if he's running in a motor or something there. It's quite possible. The arm is up. He will probably come down the chute early. Hamilton through for third. You look at his pace down this little short straight. Look how quick he is. That thing just lights up. Down the inside now for second place. Not quite, he couldn't get it done. Coxie was still there. Cox actually went very deep into that first turn. You could see how much out of shape that kart was getting, but he held on to second place. Hamilton's going to have to do it again. And Hamilton will see that Elder's getting away down the racetrack, but I don't think he'll be too concerned about that. 13-time New Zealand Sprint Champion. Look at that. The acceleration is incredible. And now look to him to reel in Mark Elder out in front. Puffing plenty of smoke out that 94. Smoke's not a bad thing. Just means you got plenty of fuel and oil going through. Well, we talked this morning, didn't we, Richard, about those pods on the side of Matt Hamilton's kart. That's what I would refer to, the old school ones that I used to call SpongeBob square pods.
Yeah, it's a bit of a retro look for Hamilton, and hey, I quite like the old school sort of design, but it has more meaning to it than just what it looks like.
Yeah, that's right. We talked, I'm just off here at the track at the moment, we talked about that, and it was more to do with weight issues as well.
Yeah, exactly. So running the twin For those who have just tuned in, it's a hybrid twin, so a KZ2 with a Formula 100 strapped on to the left-hand side underneath the radiator. So very unique kart and a very challenging kart to drive. Poses a lot of difficulties as we see. I think, is that Cranston pulling off there?
Oh, Cranston off the racetrack. Cranston again will DNF the pre-final. I'm not sure what the issue is this time for Jacob. So the mismatch engines there for Hamilton, the KZ motor and the Formula 100, which is strapped underneath the radiator, as Richard said on the live stream. It seems to be working beautifully right now. Look at him just reel in Mark Elder. And Elder's not going slow out in front. That's a very fast twin. Third place is Cox. Fourth place is the 10 of Ma, and now Ma down the inside for third. Well, these three behind could be battling out for a podium later on in the final or even further up. That title is well within reach of pretty much just about everybody in this field. You can't discount anyone here in open class. That's the beauty of it. And Hamilton now within striking distance of Mark Elder. 8 laps to go. '86, that is Bailey Patterson. Matt Hamilton within about 5 kart lengths of Mark Elder. Lot-time race leader in this pre-final after making the move on Coxie. Aaron Maher impressive in third. Cox in fourth. 5th place Blair. 6th for Bouchard. And Hamilton, that thing is just a screamer. Down the inside, Matt Hamilton. New race leader. From the back of the field through to the race lead here with 7 to go. Matt Hamilton, 13 times a New Zealand sprint kart champion. He knows that Ryan Urban is closing in on that tally. Matt just needs to keep improving it to keep Ryan Urban out of his clutches as the driver with the most sprint kart titles. That's of the current crop, you could say of the modern era, so to speak, because if you look at the KartSport website, it unfortunately doesn't show you all the results through from the 60s and the 70s. I wish it did. I'd love to know for posterity just who all our champions were in the past. I'm sure there's records somewhere. Unfortunately, a lot of those old records were kept in boxes, of course. No such thing as internet and electronic pages. 5 to go. Aaron Maher still third. Gridley putting the pressure on the 33 of Bouchard. Gridley's had an interesting day. And Hamilton now just able to command this race lead. Down through the inside of that corner, you see him just puff up a little bit of that sand. He'll have 4 laps to go. Do we have the live timing back yet, Richard? It's a shame. I'd like to know what lap times Matt's pulling out at the moment. We know his qualifying on Friday was 30.98, and it wasn't the best of conditions. Now we've got perfect conditions. I would expect him to be sub 30 at least.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if he's really pushing it. It looks like he's pushing, as we see again a little tuft of dust coming up from his right front tyre.
I'll ask him in his interview. 3 laps to go. And the full length of the straight lead, not just for Hamilton, but also for Mark Elder in 2nd place. Aaron Maher's in 3rd, 4th is Cox, 5th is Blair, 6th place Bouchard, 7th Gridley. Eighth place Bailey Patterson in this 86, but he's dropped out the back. 2 to go now for Hamilton. Well, the thing about this race is Mark Elder will kind of have to be reasonably pleased with where he's sitting. He hasn't lost too much on Matt Hamilton. If the 94 of Elder is able to push for the full 26 laps in that final, anything can happen, and that's really the only thing that he can do if Hamilton gets away out in front, is just keep applying the pressure, stay within sight of Hamilton, and wait and see what unfolds. 1 lap to go. 3rd place Maher takes a look back, but he's got the measure of Chris Cox in 4th. James Blair 5th, Bouchard 6th. Round through Southern Paints to MKS. Last time down to Macaulay Ford. Matt Hamilton, fastest qualifier. Sat out heats 1 and 2 this morning. Started from the rear of the grid in the pre-final and drives his way to the victory over the 94 of Mark Elder. Aaron Maher's going to take 3rd place. Chris Cox will take a top 4. Well, a dominating drive for Matt Hamilton, but wasn't really a surprise there, was it, Richard?
No, look, he's obviously, with the qualifying performance that he had, the one to beat in this class, and I was wondering how long it would take him to come through, and he just drove nice and straight, kept that kart out of trouble and made his way through relatively quickly. Impressive drive from Mark Elder to stay relatively in touch, but I think there's probably a little bit more that Matt Hamilton is not quite showing at the moment.
Yeah, and saying that possibly also for Mark Elder, because he would have known, right, okay, Matt's made the pass. I'm not going to catch him again, but I don't want to do anything silly either. I want this kart to last through until the final. Yeah,
exactly right. And as we say, it's a battle of attrition in the open class. You have to be there at the end if you want to take away one of those yellow plates.